Well, Ideate Sticky is an add-on solution that allows you to link information, so Excel documents, Word documents, and PDF documents into your Revit projects. And not only does it allow you to link or insert those documents into the project, but it allows you to keep them up to date very easily. So if the data changes, if the Word document updates for the specifications, or if the Excel document updates for lighting manufacturing data, that information is going to automatically update into the Revit project when you open up the project, and it will check to make sure that it has the latest and greatest. So for many years, we've been supporting Excel format within Ideate Sticky. And so one of the top requests from the Autodesk Revit Ideas Forum was to also incorporate or link in Word documents and PDF documents. So as I mentioned, May 2020, we have now incorporated support for PDF and Word documentation in addition to our Excel documentation. So why don't we just take a look at that, and let me switch over here to Revit, and I'll make sure that comes up on the screen there. And so today I'm using Revit 2021, which is the last release of Revit from Autodesk. But as I mentioned, all of our solutions work on the last 4 releases. If you're not familiar with Ideate software, you may be familiar, obviously, with the ribbon panels, but all of our tools, if you click on Ideate software ribbon panel, you'll see all of our solutions available. And everything that's sort of in light orange and light blue is part of our Ideate apps. It's a collection of 9 productivity tools. And then you see sort of what we're calling our more major solutions, Style Manager, Sticky Explorer, and BIMlink. So you'll notice that I actually have this sheet open, which is finishes. I have a number of schedules that are already placed on this sheet. So if I access Ideate Sticky, this dialog is going to appear, and basically it's going to tell me, what particular sort of sticky schedules or images that I have within my project. So you'll notice that it's actually showing that I have 3 revision lists in this project. I also have this Philips Hadco. It's a lighting specification. And this is where I wanted to show you that, we can have the path type be absolute or relative or cloud. Cloud means that it's coming from BIM 360 via the desktop connector. So that's how we're keeping it synced to BIM 360, is via the desktop connector. So when you have that status, it's going to say that it's, the path type is cloud. When I click on that, and by the way, we're looking at sort of this right here, this in the background, this Excel file that is the lighting specification from Philips. When I click on that, there's some more information here that this dialog will give me. It actually tells me that it's coming from BIM 360 and what the project is, right, that we have here, what the file is, the status. It shows that it's actually now being used on 2 sheets, because everyone knows that schedules and legends can appear on multiple sheets within Revit. So in this case, I'm showing it that it's on Z.7 finishes and it's on Z.9 schedules and data. So how would you go about creating a new one? Well, it's pretty easy. You just select create, right? And then you're going to browse to the file location. Now I have a number of sample files here. These sample files are delivered with Ideate Sticky. So what I'm going to do is come over here to the panel schedule right here. I'm going to say open. And so if there are multiple worksheets within the Excel file, I have the ability to review that here. So the worksheet is, in this case, we have black and white, and we have the non-BIM panel schedule, which is the colorized version. I'm going to select on the non-BIM panel schedule. And then you can also see if there was a print area that's been defined, I can specify that. In this case, it's just a default print area. By default, it appends the word sticky, but you don't have to have that. This is my conference center project. So I'm going to say CC non-BIM panel schedule. So that stands for conference center. Select OK. And so what it does is it links that. And so if I close this dialog either by the X there, you'll notice that now the schedule is there. Okay. So that is, that has created a Revit schedule that has the information from Excel. And as I mentioned, we're looking at it on this sheet. I'm going to come over here to, I've got another sheet that I've set up specifically for, you'll see here, I've got revision schedules, but schedules and data. I want to double click on that. And I just wanted to show you that in this case, there's also the Phillips Hadco. That was the second sheet that was showing in Sticky. But also, if I go back over here on my project browser and I scroll up to schedules, remember we had CC, non-BIM panel schedule. It shows up in schedules. I can click, drag and drop it over here, right? And place it on this sheet as well. So, it is a schedule. It's displaying as a schedule. It has all the properties of a schedule. Now, what we've introduced, though, is the ability to have it not only as a schedule, but also as an image. And in this particular case, what we're doing is we have the Excel information, right, that I'm going to show you in a second, that is being formatted basically into a Revit schedule. And we try to do, let's say almost 100% fidelity, but there's always these small little tweaks as far as the column width, the font size. We're trying to match it as best as possible, but there are always conditions where it's maybe slightly off. So now we've given you the ability to come over here to Sticky, and I'm going to switch this in the panel when the dialog appears here in a second. And I'm going to switch it to Word, PDF, and Excel images. Notice there the first tab is schedules. Now this is images. So I'm going to say do the same process again, say create, and we're going to come over here to my same directory, which was under my training products here, and my Sticky, my samples, and we're going to go to the panel schedule. So let's come down here to panel and say open. Now, because we're looking at it as an image, it's giving me all the same worksheets as before, but instead of a drop down, it's actually giving me this little, if I have 10 of them, I'm going to see all 10, and I can select multiple ones. In this case, I'm going to do the same non-BIM panel schedule. It gives me a preview. I'm going to select OK, right? And again, very similar. It has the information, and I'm going to select close, and I'm going to bring that down. So in this case, this is an image as opposed to a schedule. And I can use the tools basically to update that. And again, if I wanted to slightly tweak that and move that, you'll notice that these two, again, are very similar, but they're slightly different just because of one's an image and one is an actual schedule. We had to fit within the paradigm of the Revit schedules to be able to make this branch panel schedule. But in the case of an image, we can, I would say that it goes from 99% fidelity to 100% fidelity when we're using images. But the great thing is both of these are going to be able to be updated. So now what I'm going to do is switch over here. We're going to go over to our samples directory, and I'm going to bring up the panel schedule that we have here. So if I can find that, let's see, panel. All right, so I'm going to bring up the panel schedule. So this is the source data, if you will, right? And again, we have the two worksheets that I was showing you, the black and white version, and then what I've said is the non-BIM panel schedule. So in this case, let's just change the name of it here, Conference Center CC-branch panel. So just giving it a name. And then maybe here, just to show you, I want to change something else. I'd like to change this to a, let's say a kind of a salmon color or something. Maybe again, circuit description, just to show you that you can start, we'll say circuit A panel, just to show you that I can start filling that information in. All right, now I'm going to save this. Okay, so I've saved it. The timestamp out on disk has been updated. We're going to switch back over here to Revit. And you'll see that the changes don't automatically update. The same way if you had an AutoCAD file or even if you had another LinkedIn Revit file, it wouldn't just automatically change as you're working. However, we set this up, if we go back over here to Sticky, that you can have it automatically update when you open up the project, right? And so that is the auto update feature, or you can actually select over here and you can just say, all right, notice that it says CC non-BIM panel schedule out of date, right? Let me just reduce this a little bit so we can see it. I'm going to show you a couple different methods here. So I'm going to just say update. Go out and get the latest. So when I select update, notice it immediately changes it to CC branch panel, and it changed the background color to that salmon color, right? The other one, Word, PDF, Excel, notice that hasn't been updated yet, right? And I can now say, well, you know what I'd like to do is turn on auto update. Auto update, when that is ticked, it will immediately go out and update the information, but it also keeps it up to date so that the next time that I open up this project, right, with this conference center, it's going to then, while it's, and after it opens up the project, it's going to check to make sure that all of the data that I've specified, whether it's Word, Excel, or PDF, that it's up to date. So that auto update automatically, is a very nice feature. So you'll notice now that that information, like I said, has been easily updated in both the Word, in this case, in both the Excel files. So let's get that over here for a second. I'll just move that. And then if I fit this, I just wanted to show you a couple other items here. If I go to Sticky again, and let's go down to, say, create. And you'll notice that it's showing me, whether I've got, Word files or PDF files. And I've got some general notes here and some specifications. So I'm going to go down to my specifications here. And when I look at this, this has 7 pages in the document. And I can choose the DPI. By default, it does 300, but you can do a greater DPI if you'd like. Pages, here's where I can do like 1, 3, 5, or I could just do, I only want pages 1 through 3 as an example. So I can choose exactly what I want. So when I say I want 1 through 3, it's going to then auto-generate those 3 pages for me. And you'll see that there's the nice little icon, which is the Word icon. And now if I see that those are along the top, and I can grab those and bring them all down over to this location here. And again, fit that. And then let's go back over here to Sticky. And I just want to show you an example of PDF as well. So I'm going to say create. And this one is not necessarily architecture, but it's actually something that I was looking at in a PDF file, and I liked it because it was in color. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. It happens to be a rail map for the Boston area, and that's where I'm located in Boston. So again, I just want to do 1 page of this. I don't want to do both. And I'm going to say OK. And like I said, I like this, even though it wasn't architectural. It was just nice because it showed you that you could do nice colors with PDF as well. So you zoom up on that, and you can see it's very clear of what was created there. So again, then this document has Excel schedules. It has Excel images, it has Word images, as well as PDF images. And so if we go over here to manage, in Revit 2021, if you select on the manage links, there is PDF and there's also images. Images allows you to now link through Revit 2021. So you'll see here when I go to PDF, there's the PDF that I brought in, right? As well as there's the images. And if I scroll down here, you can see there's the documents and the panel schedule. Now, if you're in previous versions of Revit, you don't have the ability to have the link PDF or linked images. But what's great is Ideate Sticky still works. So that's a really nice feature, is if you're on previous, like Revit 2018, 19, or 20, you still have all of the features and updates that I just mentioned to you, even though Revit doesn't necessarily have that ability. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, so let's go back here, and just a couple other things is that you can now update multiple stickies. So if like you have, in this case, you see on the screen here, I need to update 10 or 30 sticky locations or Excel image or Excel files from one location to another. I can do that very easily. So I can just do the update from button, and I can repath to a new location. I can change the region. I can change the DPI if it happens to be an image, right, that has that particular characteristic. The sticky schedules doesn't have a DPI, but the Word, PDF, and Excel images do, and that can be updated all at once. And then we also, this was a customer request, we included the ability to have a black and white option so that when you do the page setup within Excel, if you tick black and white, we are now respecting that. Whereas before we just sort of ignored that particular print characteristic. But if you wanted to just print everything without the gray tones, without the color, you can do that very easily by just ticking that black and white and then bringing the sticky schedule in. So again, the fact that images, now we have the ability to look at Excel either as a schedule or an image, and then the ability to bring sort of more of that data in. Like in Excel, if you had, let's say, like a pie chart within the Excel, that was something in previous versions of Sticky we just sort of ignored because there was no way that the Revit schedule could actually display that. You know, we only were able to display information in Excel that was in a tabular format that sort of matched the paradigm of the Revit schedule. But now with sticky images, we could bring in those pie charts, those flow charts. And so when you need greater visual fidelity, using the Ideate, the Excel with the image option is a better solution. But people always ask us, well, hey, what's the difference between bringing something in as a sticky schedule and bringing something in as a sticky image? And so this chart is available on our website, and I'll show you the link here in a moment. But we kind of go through each one and show you the comparisons and where there are pluses and minuses, right? And so with the sticky schedules, the plus is the fact that it's very lightweight. It is a native schedule within Revit. It acts like a schedule, but because it is a schedule, it's only available on sheets. You can't place a schedule on, let's say, a drafting view or a, let's say, a plan view. Whereas an image, you can actually place it on a sheet of plans, draftings, legends, detail views. So there's a little bit more flexibility there. And the sort of the disadvantages is that if you wanted to search information for text, you know, it's not, because it's an image, it's not really text, whereas the sticky schedules, it actually is the Revit text within the schedule that you might want to search on. And then we've done a lot of performance testing. The sticky images is a little bit larger as far as the footprint. So when you have, you know, hundreds of these Ideate sticky images, it can potentially increase the size of the project. Again, not by much, but comparatively to the sticky schedules, it is more as far as the file size goes. So you really have to look at what you're using and what the best workflow is for what you're trying to achieve. So here is the link. And in fact, I think if I go here, if I click on this, this link, yep, here we are. We're loading the website. We're going out here to our help files. And then you can see that there's the exact same chart that I was just showing you. There's the comparison chart. So if you're under Ideate Sticky, under our help files, there are many, you know, helpful ways. And here's, you know, how would you learn more about sticky schedules or learn more about sticky images? So just wanted to show you that that's very easily available. And then we also wrote a really nice blog on this. If you click on this, you can see that in a little bit more detail, basically, we went through and talked about the differences of a sticky schedule and a sticky image, and again, where we might want to use one over the other. And here's a good example of this spreadsheet where there was a chart, a workflow chart. And so if you need to have that in your Revit project, then images is a better option than the schedules. Okay, and then lots of links to learn more about how this process works. So everyone on this call can go to ideatesoftware.com, go to free trial, and you can download a 2-week, so it's a 14-day full function version of Ideate Sticky for Revit 2018 through 2021. So you can test it out for yourself. So again, we're not restricting any of the functionality. It's only time limit, basically the 14 days for the trial. So I would encourage everyone to go and download a trial and learn a little more. So again, there's the information on downloading a trial of Ideate Sticky. The website, just go to free trial and click on Sticky, or you can choose one of our bundle options too, where you can actually download all of our 5 Ideate software solutions and do a trial of that as well.